the highs,
Alright, dude, so I
and then
think
I'll
I'm
take the
taking a little bit too
opportunity
much
to
time
animate the
trying to
points
hop
with
on
the
this
first
shit,
LFO.
so I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it.
And now it's really heavy on the lows, so I'll make some room for the sub by adding a high pass filter at the end of the chain. And I will also have the first LFO control the level of the sub so it plays like the rest of the instrument. From there, I'll add a hyperdimension for space, with the LFO of course. And I'll add a reverb, very short, at maybe about 30% wet. And if you want to have it more audible, you can place it before the compressor, or rather place the compressor at the end of the chain. So yeah, from there you could or should swap the order of the effects in the chain to see how it affects the result.
Yeah, so yo, this thing kinda sucks. Like, yo, what's up, dude? What's up, dude? This little emit guy is not it, low-key, bro. Thought this bitch was supposed to be in tracking mode. Oh. Alright, well, I guess we'll continue. So, let's see. The guys on YouTube are pretty much set up now. I'm going into Twitch. Fuck yeah, now that we're on Twitch, I'm gonna disable this bitch ass tracking mode. Cause this shit gets distracted by the lasers, bro. Okay, we'll just leave it there. At least we can see a good majority of this shit. So anyways, let me just make sure that the homies on Twitch know what the fuck is going on right now. Y'all better get ready for some music production. And very plain and simple, we're gonna talk a little bit about the boring stuff, and that's what you need: a template, you need some kind of plan. Whether or not you're an artist, a fucking entrepreneur, you need to start with a plan. You need to have a template. Borrow mine, borrow anyone else's for your craft. You know, like, fucking, no matter whether you're a barber, artist, painter, whatever the fuck, if you're not making money from your shit, then you're in the same gap as somebody who's broke. And usually it's about the same math to start off anyways, so yeah, we're gonna start off with the template. I love the quote that says fucking start with the end in mind. The way that I kind of take that to start with the end in mind is really just before you start a project, a campaign, anything like that, make sure you can see the end result um, in a specific time frame. So today, since we're learning about a template, we're gonna pretty much just see like where the beginning, middle, and the end will be for a track, and you can honestly even apply this to the way that you want to run your own company, I guess. My bad. Where the fuck was I? So anyways, start with the end in mind. It's going to show you the beginning, middle, and end of a track and exactly what... Oh shit. And exactly what you need to finish a track. So that way you can see the beginning of it, your progress, and all of it done from start to finish, and you can give yourself realistic goals. Yes, you want to be delusional as fuck with your goals. But before you can go all in on your delusional shit, you're gonna have to make a plan first. So, I don't know. I'm sure on Twitch is labeled like Shadow Bunny Wizard Gang or some shit like that. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Alright, let's say you finally downloaded your first DAW. I'm assuming just about for any DAW, this is going to be exactly the same. I don't care if you got Fruity Loops, if you got Ableton, if you're still using any free software like GarageBand. If you plug it in and you're on like a PC or a laptop or computer, usually the workstation has to look something similar to this. And we're working with Ableton tonight, so once you open up a fresh new patch of Ableton, you'll notice here that it automatically will give you 2 MIDI slots and 2 audio slots, and I'll kind of go over with what that means here in a second. But let's say you open it up and this is the first time you've ever seen anything like this. There's so many samples to go through. I don't think you'll go through this TBH, all of it. There's no need. Just hone in and focus in on the music that you like already and you're trying to make, and just kind of stick to that. All this will be kind of overkill, honestly. And as you get further in the path, you kind of start to, like, most of your work is just going to be taking stuff out. But either way, we're going to start with why it's important. So here, I can't see anything, right? And the same thing if, like, it's my first day cutting hair. It's my first day playing a new video game. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. So, first of all, the timing. Here at the bottom, you'll see where the track can start and where it usually ends. And typically, a track will last you anywhere from like 2 to 3 minutes on average. So that's where you can kind of base yourself off of. Next thing, I'm gonna go talk about this in probably the next week's video or something like that, and I'm gonna go over where and how and why you should download your music and keep that thing on you. So once you actually download your music, let's just say for this instance, we're gonna go to downloads. You can't see this right now on your side, but let's just say that you're on Mac or PC and you just open up a new file explorer or whatever the fuck, and you're looking for where you downloaded that song that you really like. So part of like making your goals is like kind of start with your favorite songs of all time, and then kind of just like stick to those. So let's see, I downloaded something in riddim. Let's see what I have in there. Okay, let's just do something random as fuck, like okay, let's do this track. We'll just put a random rhythm track. This one's called Crazy Rhythm. I forgot the artist's name. I'll probably, once I figure it out, I'll put it in the or in the description. And later's YouTube channel. But let's say you just inputted your first track, you got it downloaded, and now you can kind of actually see the wave file. So here, before anything, you're gonna see that timestamps right here. You'll see that once you plug it into your dot, usually rhythm is at 145 BPM. Very plain and simple. BPM is just the speed of the song. And Crazy Rhythm, fuck, dude, I don't even know what key and BPM Crazy Rhythm is. So I'll just gotta go on Google real quick and put crazy. Oh, put a Crazy Rhythm. Key and BPM. Hopefully something comes up. There it is. Crazy Rhythm, key and BPM. Let's see. Let's see who the hell is the artist first of all. To see who's the artist, I need to go back to my SoundCloud. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up SoundCloud because that's where I discovered this song. And then I'm gonna go over to my library, go to my playlist, and then I should have one already in there called Riddim. Let me open that up. Let me make sure that, yep, still here. All right. I'm gonna go back to that. There we go. Crazy Rhythm by Seha. Seha. I don't know how to officially say the name, but okay, so Seha Crazy Rhythm. So there it is. The AI will tell you that all about the details here real quick. And then I'm gonna add key and BPM. This is also why it's kind of important to like actually finish the thought you're trying to plug into Google or GPT, because if you can organize your thoughts quicker, it'll just kind of help you get there. There it is, boom. So this says that it's gonna be in 140 BPM, so I'm gonna drop it down to 140, boom. And then lastly, the BPM or the key, it's gonna be, let's see what it's telling us. Damn, dude. If only freaking SoundCloud can tell you that already, 'cause I don't think it can. I suppose you can plug it into your record box and then have it analyze it for you, and then you can put it out there yourself. But let's say for this instance, we're looking up the BPM or the key. Let's see. Let's keep searching one here a little bit. All. Okay, I can't find it, so I'm just gonna put the average key and BPM for rhythm. Literally as simple as that. Like, you don't need nobody's permission. Usually, like I said, there it is. It's gonna be in 140 BPM, and it says it's either gonna be an E or G minor, F minor, F, E, or G minor. So, let's put it to E minor. Fuck it. It's not like I have to be 100% accurate, especially when I'm creating like just something off rip. So now we got the key. Now we got the BPM input on top, and then this could you can apply it for most of your templates. So this what I'm saying right now actually has a purpose. You can plug this into your template real quick, and then if you're making techno, if you're making drum and bass, if you're making dubstep, whatever the hell, you can kind of always see or you can see a pattern, and it shows you, okay, dubstep is usually written in these three categories, so I'll keep my template saved at around these three templates, if that makes sense, and also this BPM and everything. Cool. All right, so now that I have everything plugged in, I want to make sure that this is accurately timed, so I'm gonna double click it, and then I'm gonna go over here where it says where the fuck was it? Oh, and also change everything here to everywhere where you can find your like keys and BPMs, change it to that. But in this case, we're gonna go ahead and warp and unwarp the track just to make sure that it's actually timed and well. So now here I can kind of already see there's a beginning, a middle, a second middle, an outro, and then it looks like an end there, right? So let's see if what I said was true. So this looks like a beginning or an intro. Sick. So I'm gonna go ahead and place a little sticker right there. But before I proceed forward, that's just kind of going over like the timestamping and templates real quick. So let me finish this off real quick, and then we'll move on to like the actual template I made you guys. So as you can see here, if we scroll all the way out, this song or this track will be about like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So now it's going to be really important for us to, one, put our loop for the entire length of the track, and then right at the beginning you're going to place what's called a flag. So you're going to highlight here in the beginning, and then up top where it says set, you're going to get a little flag right here where you can click on it, and you can either right click or press Control R to rename it, and we're going to name this just the beginning. Beginning. I don't know. Okay. That sounds cool. Then, like I said, this sounds like the intro. Or you know what? I'm gonna actually name this Start. Once the drums start to come in, that kick, that's where you can look a little bit closer and put another flag right here where you can see this little gap. Click there, set another flag right there, and we'll call this the build. Cool. All right. Now, if we look closer, for riddim, when it comes to like the drops, tension built. Okay, so right there you can put another one. Name it in this case it's a fake out, because it sounds like it's about to drop, but it keeps going. Yep. Right here, this is where the drop is going to be. Set another one. rename drop. Cool. All right. Is it the drop? Let's see. Yep, that sounds like a drop right there. Look, we already have half a template already made. Just in like the last, I don't even know. But we're halfway done. We're done with the boring shit, so we can actually move on to the fun shit, which is the sound design. You kind of get it, right? Okay, so go through your track. Go through each one of your tracks that you want to make. Probably create like your whole catalog of this shit first. Get all of the songs that you want to mimic and pretty much reproduce, and go through each of them and just kind of do the same thing. Like, okay, here, this sounds like a start. Here, this sounds like the beginning of a build. Boom, got us with the fake out, and then you can kind of map yourself there all the way out into your second drop and to your outro. Cool. So now I'll go ahead and open up the actual template. No, I'm not gonna save that shit. So cool. Here is a very plain and simple template that you can use, that you can plug into basically any type of rhythm bass or dubstep bass that you want. And it's the first template that I've made that worked for me. Tonali here, this means this is your astrological sign in the Aztec calendar. You know how you're like either a Sagittarius or you're like a Leo or some shit. Your tonali is basically your star sign for us. So I thought it was cool. I thought it's very like on brand with this shit. So tonali, just literally kind of take it as your turn to plug in whatever you want, whatever your spirit kind of feels calling to you right now. So we kind of went over timestamps here on that last part. Now let me go over what an audio track and what a MIDI track is like super quickly. So an audio track is typically your universal file that you can just pretty much plug in, and any sound will become either like an MP3 or a WAV file, whatever it is. This is where you'll be primarily able to put it first. And especially if you're starting off with like the free version, usually this is one of the only ones that you'll be able to use. Once you start getting serious about it, you're going to make a lot of MIDIs for sure. So MIDI, what that means is that if you have like a digital instrument, kind of like a keyboard or something, this is where you can actually plug it in, and you can actually chop and use the same sounds to kind of like essentially put it anywhere on the keyboard and make your own rhythm from whatever sounds, vocals, effects, literally anything you can possibly think of to make this stuff. And then at the bottom, give yourself a couple lanes to add to the reverb. Here at the bottom, what this actually means is like it's the top layer of your song. So it's all pretty much gonna drizzle down from the bass, effects, vocals, and then this is for the post-processing. And post-processing, what it really means is just polishing your track to make it to be able to be played at like a big room or a small room. This is where you can actually refine it and mold it and shapeshift your track to whatever room you need it to fit into. So this is it. So that's kind of what it is. Audio track is just very plain and simple recorded sound, and a MIDI track is the one you're going to use to mainly record sound. We'll get into that bit, or if that confuses you, definitely let me know. Okay, so in this template, I have real quick just a folder of different things you're gonna need to make the basic sounds. So rhythm bass over here, you're gonna, or to make one of these yourself, you're just gonna right click and then insert, or excuse me, you're gonna go over to create, and then you're gonna insert, let's just say an audio lane for this instance. You want to make like 5 different sounds. Let's say for rhythm, typically it's about 5 to like 8 different synths. So might want to make a folder that has those 5 to 8 synths that you can kind of just get to. Click on this shit, and then you're gonna put right click or Control G, and you're gonna put group tracks, and now you can see it kind of makes this little hamburger up top and this little drop down menu right down here, so you can keep adding more sounds to that. Oops, I just froze the track. Let me unfreeze it. So there you go. That's kind of what you kind of need to know at the most basic level to create a template. So let's go ahead and delete that. Once you create one of those for your, basically for your meat and bones, which is the drums and the bass, make one of these for every drums, kicks, snares, claps, rides, hats, fills, crashes that you can hear in your favorite tunes and your favorite riddim tracks. Make that happen. Eventually you'll have timestamps up here like this where you can actually plug it in. I didn't do that. Go ahead and do that for you because I feel like this is now the part where you can actually go in and do it yourself. But you can kind of see the point. Now I know, okay, I need to find a kick, snare, drum, hat, fills that I like that'll go with this mix. And then now that I have basically all of the instruments out of the way, I made another one for effects. And that's usually the synths you hear, the womp, 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 like the wubs and the subs. This is where you can basically make an audio track for that. And also, just a quick little plug-in. If you want to start with sound design right now, then you can go ahead and download the synthesizer called Vital. It's free to use, and it's honestly pretty badass. I'm using Serum now, but this is now basically the fun stuff you'll be able to see. So now I can go over here to my free plugin called Vital. Dope. Or, my bad. Go down here where it says plugins, and then find Vital once you download it. Cool? Now this thing opens up, and now it's a whole different fucking ballroom of or level of music production. Because first there's the arrangement, the template, and then there's the actual sound design. Like, this is where you're gonna probably spend most of your time as a producer, low key. But this is where you can kind of just very quickly come in, make your track, and then start your project, and then get yourself moving. So you can see the second I put in the plugin to this lane, it created the lane already, 14 here, labeled it Vital to let you know which plugin you're using. And then over here at the bottom, when you click on this little sign right here, this is actually where you can open up your synthesizer. So if you notice, nothing is playing right now when I click the key, so I have to go back. Actually, hold on, dude. Damn, it's not even. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. It's not even on the screen yet. I'm gonna put window capture 3 and fuck. Damn, bros. Hold on, because you're not gonna be able to see. What I'm talking about. Well, here. Let me just go back to Google real quick and find Vital. And just find Vital real quick. Let me download this image. Fuck, dude. That's okay. once you open up your free freaking DAW, you'll kind of see it up on the screen. Just make sure that when you do get it opened up, over here on your lane, right here. Gotcha. All right. Once you click on your lane right there, you're just gonna click this little record button right here. Make sure it's armed. That's what it's called, and then you can hit your keyboard. Cool. Sick. So now that's kind of the basics of how and why you need to make a template. This one is specifically for the fucking riddim gang. The rest of this shit is just self-explanatory, bro. There's like, put in your vocals, and then we can go over how I chopped mine up in the last track, if you want. But this is where you can actually like have fucking fun with it. Now you get to plug in your own basses, your own kicks, snares, drums, put in your own effects, make your own effects, and then you can send it off and get it processed and get it polished. But yeah, that's kind of it. Thanks, guys. If anyone was here, feel free to, you know, like, check out the rest of this shit and just kind of keep up with it, because there is gonna be, I'm laying all of my sauce down. I'm not leaving a single little crumb behind. You guys get all of this shit for the nearest future. But yeah, if you want to follow along with it, like, take advantage right now that that I'm basically just laying out my findings in real time, and definitely take advantage of other people's and other creators' resources as well too, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all kind of working on this and making this the same thing. All tracks are kind of made in a similar way. All artists kind of find their own way in making it in their own scene, you know? So, yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Drink some water and fucking peace, dude.